wanted to go over this type of action to show how the move went from strength to weakness. This is kind of important to understand. Alright, so first we'll take a look at the higher time frame and notice that the market rallied very strong right here. Okay, then it pulled back, and relatively speaking it's a low volume pullback. Okay, now comes this rally. So we see that these guys here are not doing too well. There was a thrust, so we'll just mark this rally. Okay, now why did we mark the rally? Because obviously, that's where the pullback started from. That's an area of selling. That's the rotation, whatever they call it. It's a rally. So the other area that would need to be marked is in this area right here. So maybe here or here. Anyway, so why are we marking those are the two edges. Okay, those are the two edges. Anyway, so you see that price is moving back up into that edge, right? And you notice that it's very bullishly going up. But now this is really the anatomy of a turning point. As it tags the edge, there is volume on this rally down. So there's more volume here on this rally down, 7,000. And then when it retests it, it's actually less than that 7,000. Okay, so that's your first lower volume pullback. Now it could, it looks like a 7 and a 7, but behind the scenes the numbers are lower. Is it a lot lower? Obviously not, but it is less volume on the pullback. Okay, after this rally, less volume on the pullback. So now it goes down on 5,000 and then goes back up on 4,000. And again, you get less volume on the pullback too. That's the retest. And on the retest, you get, again, less volume on the pullback. What it means is they tried once and they tried twice and they failed. Okay? So it is going to a level of resistance, and you have more selling, less volume on the buying, followed by a retest, followed by this reversal bar, and that's the trade. Right there. And it goes down on more volume, pulls back on lower volume, goes down again on more volume on this rally, and here is an indication that there's something going on, like the activity spikes. So I know, I built this to identify high levels of activity. So here and here there's very high levels of activity. Okay, and that activity is followed by more volume on the rally. Alright, that right here is telling you that buying pressure is coming in. Now whoever's short, smart money shorts, whatever, they want to wrap things up because they see that the activity is increasing at this level and there's more volume coming in, and that is probably because it's a support level right from this low. So because there's more volume coming in and with increased activity, they want to wrap things up. And this right here is how they wrap things up. One final drive to reverse their positions. How do you know that this is very likely the end? Well, for one thing, as it goes down, the volume decreases as it makes a lower low. The volume is decreasing on the selling. So we have two indications here. Actually, three indications. One is that from this low, which is a support area, activity is increasing. Second, buying is increasing. And third, selling volume is decreasing as indicated by the lower low on lower volume. And then again, these two right here are the nails, like it's game over, because the activity is spiking now, meaning that the buyers are buying even more. Initially they bought around here, and then when they spiked it, no selling pressure or less selling pressure, and they're coming back in. Activity spikes as indicated by the two dots. They're buying the low. Everyone's been stopped out, whoever went long. And then from this area, you have more volume on the rally, making a higher high, followed by a low volume pullback, followed by a higher high on low volume, which means that it's going to consolidate or pull back some, because the buyers are not willing to follow through on the highs. So it's going to go back down to try to find buyers. If they're there, it's going to rally. If they want to buy or not, depends on whether they want to buy. But we do see an increase down, but this towards the end of the day, so I can't really say anything meaningful, but this here is meaningful. Now on the tape reading chart, you see that there's a breakdown in the background. Price rallies towards that breakdown area with a sign of strength on good volume, as indicated right here. You have your footprint of the CM right here where he was buying aggressively. A retest of that area which provided very good entry opportunity. A rally only to test the area of resistance, and then a hinge. Once it formed the hinge, there was an effortful breakdown, which is basically effort reward with a breakdown right here, that offered the test here with a pullback, and it was on very good volume too. It was on more volume here, so that's why I know that the pullback is highly probable, because obviously they took over. Selling is bigger than all the buying. Buying was bigger here and offered a minor trade here, which if you did nothing, you just broke even. But then sellers took over and then bashed it. There was a test and went down. And then over here, you basically had your, again, a very strong buying. So, and this is extremely strong buying. Like, look at this. This buying is more buying than anywhere I see on the chart. So I think they're buying the lows at this area and ready to go, in my opinion, higher. This is actually exceptional volume that came in. I think that type of volume is, I'm not sure if it's end of week, maybe that's why it's high, but this general formation right here, that look like a bull flag, it looks strong. And this is ending action. This high activity levels are ending action. They identify ending action, trend ending action. So anyway, that's where we're at. We'll see how this pullbacks, and then if it reverses to go higher, and the higher time frame is also showing a low volume pullback. It's showing a low volume pullback. Don't be fooled, because as you can see, this is in a spring position. This line right here is in a spring position, and from this spring position on a higher time frame, we're getting buying pressure on the lower time frame and the tape reading chart. Okay, and again, more importantly out of all this is really the anatomy of a reversal. See this doink, selling pressure followed by weakness, test, and a break, all coming from a resistance area. And that's not the first time. Again, you see this also. Selling pressure, weakness, higher activity, break. Here's that higher activity reversal up. Then again, here you see it. Doink, low volume, high volume rally, low volume pullback. You just want to see it again. You go more volume on the rally, low volume pullback, reversal, goes up. You want to see it again, more volume on the rally, low volume pullback, bang. I want to see it again, more volume rally, low volume pullback, another one. So this in general, like, there are a lot of indications that that have to be put together in order to understand them. But there, in my opinion, there's just principles that kind of have to piece together. And those principles, when they're pieced together, create an edge, a directional edge. But it's not going to work all the time, because as you can see on the higher time frame, look what they did. There's more volume on the rally, low volume pullback followed by a retest on low volume, and then this market was on the springboard to fly. But they purposely broke the market, and this was a stop run. And they purposely, this market, demand was in control right here to go really fly up and at least test this area. But instead, they did a spring first and then rallied, and they blamed it on North Korea news. But this maneuver here is a stop run. That right there is a stop run. Or maybe the shorts want to take profits and they just want to get it down there so they can get the best prices. But I think this is a stop run, and this is forced accumulation, because after they see this, people are they're gonna go long. Yeah, they're going long, and here's all their stops will be somewhere under these pivots, and they're all run. So how you explain bullish to a shakeout to this much volume coming back up? It's clearly a spring intended to force accumulation into strong hands by doing stop runs. And now you can see that the more volume up, low volume pullback, again, this thing is ready to go boom, 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 straight up. But you never know, there could be a maneuver, all this shit that goes on. So we'll see what happens. Have a good night, good weekend.